feeling like a brand new me. Brand new, brand new. Brand new, brand new. I blew away the clouds I was standing under. Traded all my rainy days for a little summer. I fly so high right now that I might not come back down. Dancing to my own beat, cherry on the top, sweet. Everything around me is looking up. If life is what you make it, I'ma celebrate it. I'm feeling like a brand new me. For the very first time, I'm right where I'm meant to be. I'ma tell everybody I'm feeling like a brand new me. Brand new, brand new.
What is going on, guys? How we doing?
Good. What's going on?
What's going on? Welcome back to another live, guys. What is going on? Ethan, how's your week been, dude?
Good. I feel like the year's been flying by, but it's May already. It's
I know. Isn't that crazy? It's absolutely crazy. Let me get everybody in here. We're doing another live, guys, going through any kind of questions you have around scaling your video business, going through how to get more leads, get more clients. Up to this point, I think we've worked with 600 plus video business owners. So in today's video, we're just going to be breaking down any of the strategies you guys want to see and break down any questions you have. So if you have questions, you're tuning in live, let us know, drop them down below. And let us know what you're struggling with, and we're happy to answer. Ethan, what are some things that are coming up for you on the coaching calls right now? What are some of the main kind of takeaways and things that people are going through at the moment?
I mean, the usual, the sales side of things, and then, like time management too.
Yeah, I know time management's come up a couple times for us. What kind of time management like issues, I guess, are people running into at the moment?
I mean, I think it's, some of the same things that come up like in sales calls that people have is, like making things a priority. And if you want to get something, you're going to have to make time for it.
Yeah.
Like there's never the perfect time for things.
Yeah. And I think the other side of that too is like, there's always going to be the next shoot. There's always going to be the next editing project, but it's like, are you really truly focusing on things that are going to help you make more money in the business? And if you are, then great. Like keep doing those things. If you're not, then I would suggest focusing on things that are going to get you there, right? Things that are going to make you more money. And I see a lot of people get kind of tied up in the weeds. Like, hey, what does my logo look like? Or what does this specific thing look like? Or I need to redesign my website, or I need to do X, Y, and Z. And it's like a lot of that stuff just like doesn't actually move the needle in the business. And that's where I think a lot of people get hung up on and kind of stuck in the business. You know what I mean? I think some people really get stuck there. If you guys are tuning in, what are some like areas within the business that you're getting stuck on right now? And like, what are you doing to drive more leads, more calls, more sales, right? Because that's really at the end of the day, all we need to be focusing on is how do we get more leads? How do we get more calls? How do we turn those people into people who want to work with us, right? That's really it. I'm going to highlight some of the wins from this week in the Slack channel. Let me pull it up here. Give me a second here, guys. And sorry, I'm traveling this week, so apologize for the different background. So we got Tony over here. Can you see this okay, Ethan?
Yep. Yeah, I gotcha.
Cool. So we got Tony over here. He just had his first conversation with a lead. He clicked the ad, but he didn't schedule, right? But he ended up calling him. He's a warm lead, just needs to get partners on the call. It's from ads that he set up. Will just had his first lead that got booked on his calendar. Didn't show up to the call, but he called him and got a really good sales call with him, which I'm super excited about. That was yesterday. And then Max, dude, they're killing it, man. $70K deal with a dentist in San Jose. And that's their first closed deal when we actually upped those prices, which is huge. Excuse me. And then Connor just refilmed his ads. Dan left the full-time job. We got a couple wins there, and we're super proud of the clients that are crushing it with us and pushing deals forward. Let's see. What questions do you guys have around getting more leads, scaling the business? Like, what are some of the points that you're kind of hung up on? I want to pull a couple questions up from some of the questions I got on my coaching call this week, and then we're going to dive into that. And then if you guys have questions, drop them down in the comments, and we're happy to help. Ethan, let's talk about sales maybe for a second. What are some of the main kind of issues people are having with the sales side? Like, where are they getting hung up specifically, would you say?
I'd say the biggest thing is people will go through discovery and I call it kind of solution dropping too early on and just dive, they kind of get on I guess you call it kind of a tangent, right? Where, they maybe mention a problem that they're having and then go into this big tangent about how they can help. And then just, because you want to ask more questions than talk.
Well, I was talking to James about this a couple weeks ago, and he was on a call. He's like, I just don't really know how to pitch them. They kept asking me like, what's the value? What's the value? What's the value? And I asked him, I was like, well, what happened on the actual call? And he was like, well, I hopped on with them and they wanted to immediately know what the price was. They wanted to know immediately what I could do for them. And they took frame from the beginning of the call. I was like, well, that's your first problem. Did you do any discovery? I was like, what are they, how many leads are they bringing in right now? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, what's their current revenue? He's like, I don't know. I was like, where do they want to be? He's like, I'm not sure. So I'm like, of course there's no value that's been built because we haven't built a discovery and a gap from where they are to where they want to be. I'm sorry, guys, my camera's glitching out on me here. But that's one of the main takeaways for him. I was like, well, you need to be focusing on how can we actually, figure out when we start the call, what's the main goal? What do you want out of it? Right. And then from that, how do we reverse engineer that goal with content that we're going to create for you? Right. So then it's just really figuring out what's that main rock. Hey, we want to increase revenue by 30%. Great. What are you doing when it comes to getting clients on social media, generating more leads, getting more calls booked, getting more, social media content out there? Like, oh, nothing right now. Or we're doing it on our iPhone. And you're just taking them down that discovery path and trying to figure out, okay, where is the gap? Where can I fill this in? Where can I actually build that value? Because the value is like, if they're at 100K a month and they want to get to 500K a month, or they're at $1 million a month, they want to get to 5 million a month, like your value is showing them how your content can actually help them get there. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people forget that in the sales call, and they're just like, oh, they said they wanted a video, so I'm just going to take orders. It's like, you're not a waiter. You are a doctor who's going to prescribe a solution to them. And I think a lot of people get stuck on that. And let us know in the comments if you guys are getting stuck on that within discovery sales process as well. And we're happy to kind of go through that and see how we can help. But that's the big thing. I think you hit the nail on the head, dude, is like, just people are solution dropping too much. They are just saying, hey, here's what I can do for you. And you're not getting the client to do the work. You're doing the work for them. So you have to get the client to do the work for you, essentially, and say like, if they flip it back on you and say, hey, what's the value in this? I would say, well, what is the main thing you're looking to achieve? And how do you feel? Do you feel like the content that we're going to create for you can actually help you get there? Right? Sorry, guys, the focus on the camera is going crazy. Well, there we go.
Because if you let them continue to self-diagnose and tell you what they think they need, then they're still going to be in the same place.
Well, it's like going to a doctor. Yeah, it's like going to a doctor and saying, hey, I think I need this surgery. And they're going to look at you like, dude, you're crazy. You're not going to, like, I'm going to tell you what you need. I got to go through a diagnosis. I got to do x-rays. I got to figure out what's broken. I got to figure out what's wrong, right? And like, I'm going to go through and diagnose what the problem is. And you're not going to tell it. Like, if someone came in, the doctor would laugh at you. So then why you as a video agency owner, why are you allowing people to do that to you?
Yep.
And then they wonder why people frame them in a lower status and they look down on them. It's because they're just shouting orders at you and you're just taking whatever they give you, right? And I think that's a key problem.
100%.
Let's see. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, you're good.
The Switzerland Wi-Fi is not very good, man. It's not like the US. So, it is. It's what it is, right? Let's see. We have a couple questions here. CSL Media Group. I have the 27 video retainers, but I was hoping to have a template that could approach a construction company and have them as a retainer. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you'll just have to adapt the retainers and figure out what is the main goal of the construction company. What is their goal? Do they want to get more projects? Do they want to attract more talent? Do they want to, conquer objections, have more testimonial videos, and then figure out what that main problem is, and then work your way backwards with content. You have to just do a little bit of like thinking through that. And obviously that's something that we help people with within our full, program, is helping them figure out what that is. But, and have you done construction? Yeah, absolutely. So it's like, but if, let's pull this up actually. Have you done a retainer for a construction company and doing status photos and value and videos for their projects? Absolutely. But you have to think about like, why do they want that content? Like, what is the purpose of it? And and usually, and Ethan, you could probably answer this too, because you create all of our clients' offer sheets. But it's like, what is the purpose of that offer sheet, or what is the purpose of the content? Well, it's they want to attract more projects, right?
Yeah.
That would mean that the way that they're creating content right now probably isn't really getting them projects. Dive into that.
Yeah, or you could have a whole package focused around like brand awareness and lead gen, but maybe when you get on the discovery call, they are at capacity and need to hire more employees. So then, then the offer that we have doesn't matter. Then we still have to go back.
Right, then we would switch to more of like a recruiting training offer where we have content as far as like a welcome video, about us video, job description videos, right? It's just, how you guys have to think as like a problem solver. Like, how are you going to solve the problem with the content? And you got to think through that. And that's obviously what we help people with when they become a client of ours. But you can even just do that reasonable deduction on your own and be like, what is the rock? What do they want out of the content? And then like, what kind of content do I need to create to actually get them there? It's pretty simple. And you just have to understand, I think, what the content actually does for them. So you actually understand how your content helps them, right? And I think a lot of people don't really understand what the content does. So,
comes back
Ethan,
to
maybe you want to talk about that. Let me readjust my camera for 2 seconds here.
Very good. Yeah, and I was going to say, it just comes back to selling a solution versus, just being a somebody that just sells videos, basically. Because if we went around and asked everybody, if they want a brand video, then you're not going to make as many.
What does a brand video do? They'd be like, what does that do? Hey, do you want an ad? Okay, what does the ad do? Right? It's like, you guys, and I was talking to Scott Thompson about this the other day, and he's like, there's a huge shift that's happening within the video and filmmaker and video agency space. And the shift is around, no longer can you really get away with just creating content, dumping it on the client, and then saying, good luck, man. Like, because the content being good is not a big enough bar anymore. That bar is now the standard. Every 18-year-old kid with an FX3 or an iPhone or whatever can shoot amazing content. That's not good enough anymore, right? And for a lot of people, they've relied on that for a long time.
Everybody has access to the equipment. It's not, quality is not an issue anymore.
Yeah, quality is not the issue. The issue is, how do you actually give them some sort of lead gen system, or run simple ads? Like, we teach people in Master Filmmaker how to run ads for yourself, how to get leads for yourself, how to get clients for yourself, and then you can take that same invaluable skill and then basically turn around and sell that to your client, right? Because at the end of the day, like, they want you to generate them more money. And if you're not bringing in more money when they look at their P&L every month, and you're charging them $3,000 a month and you're not making them any money, guess who's the first person to go, right? Like, you are. So you have to dive into that, and you have to figure out and learn a new skill. And I think a lot of people are like, man, I don't want to learn a new skill. Like, I don't want to do that. I just want to create content. Right. And like, I think someone said on Instagram, storytelling. Absolutely. But like, you have to weave the storytelling into a distribution system. It's like, if you just have a really good story that no one knows about it, or it sits on the back corner of their website, or it sits on their Instagram page with 100 followers, like, no one's going to see it. That story is not going to be effective. But when you can combine storytelling with ad strategy and getting that message in front of the right people, now you have a winning combination, right?
Yep, exactly. Well, like we mentioned at the beginning of the call, people get stuck on like their website. If you get people to your website, it doesn't matter.
Well, and I think a lot of people try to run ads to their website. Terrible idea. Don't do that. Run ads to a Facebook lead form. I'll just give you the formula right now. You guys can take it. Someone asked what the main components are of the ad. I'll tell you that too. I don't care if my camera will actually work. We'll see. So run an ad to a Facebook lead form on Facebook. Have name, email, phone number. Basically have some sort of friction point. Say, hey, are you this type of person? And then run that ad to your market. Get the leads in. Call the leads when they come in. Put them through an email nurture system. We have that built out for our clients already, right? Put them through a CRM, track the lead, track the pipeline stages, and then basically take them and convert them into a sales call on Zoom, and then turn that sales call into them paying you $5K a month, $3K a month for content. That's it. Like, It's not that crazy. What is crazy is this camera not working. Hold on. Someone said, and then what are the main components of a winning ad? Good question. Main components are going to be, number one, what's the call out? So, hey, if you're a medical company or you're a dentist, and then it's pain point. If you're a dentist who's struggling to get more patients in the door and you're tired of relying on word of mouth referrals, listen up. That's your hook. That's your intro, right? Number two, it's going to be like diving deeper and pushing into those pain points. So saying like, okay, great. If you're this type of person, you have this problem, listen up. You're probably tired of XYZ, XYZ, XYZ pain points. If you want a better way of generating those types of clients, our company, and then talk about what you do, your offer, our company will come in and do XYZ for your company. We'll create content to help you get more leads. If you want to learn more, and this is the CTA, the call to action at the end, if you want to learn more about what that actually looks like and how we can actually help, click the link below, schedule a demo with our team, and we'll see if we can help. And then that just goes to a lead form to a calendar. That's it, right? And then you're just talking to people who are in that market, turning them into calls, turning them into sales. That's it.
Yep.
A lot of you guys overcomplicate this. It's not that complicated.
Well, the follow-up is super important too.
And that's where I think a lot of people and campaign type matters as well. I love this dude's profile picture, bro. It's just Patrick. It's so funny. I love it. The campaign type works. The campaign type works as well. I can't like go into an entire campaign type, obviously, on this call. It'd take too long. But basically, you need to be a leads campaign, and then you need to optimize around the right types of leads. So if you get the wrong type of leads coming into the funnel, it basically spirals you down into Facebook optimizing for crappy leads, right? So you have to have qualifying conditional logic questions on the lead form, so you get the right types of people coming in. That's where a lot of people go wrong. And this is obviously something we help set up for our clients as well. Let's see what Movement 365 says. I've worked with vascular and cardiac surgeons for 15 years. They don't need lead gen, just brand growth and through content. Should I pivot to lifestyle docs or double down on my niche? I'll argue with you there. I think half of them want more of the brand awareness and half of them do want more lead gen. It really just depends on the type of person, where they're at, how many years they've been in business, what the main bottleneck of their business is. Because, for some people, their bottleneck is getting more leads. For some people, their bottleneck is they just want more brand awareness. So you have to figure out, what do they want? What is the rock? What is the goal that they want? And then how can you get them there with content?
But I may not be so hyper specific either, and focus on medical businesses versus like this one singular type.
So basically, you're saying broaden it out a little bit more and just say medical, and then you can work with vascular and cardiac surgeons within that space. And then also you can work with dentists who do need more lead gen. They do charge enough money. You can work with med spas. You can work with tons of other types of companies within that sphere. Built my brand around specialty surgeons. I feel and it's fine if you just want to stick with that niche. What I would say is, what is the main bottleneck for you in your business right now? Like, what is the main problem? Do you have enough leads? Do you not have enough people to shoot? Are you spending all your time on the wrong things? Like, what to you, what's that problem, right? And then I can give you the right solution based on that. Because if you're drowning in leads and don't need more clients, then like you might not need to run ads, right? You might not need to have a lead gen system if what you're doing is fine. But the other thing I'd look at too is like, are you charging as much as you want, right? Because a lot of people are like, I'm so busy, but then they're not charging enough. And if you're closing 40, 50, 60, 70% of your calls, you're likely not charging enough as well. And so it's like, you're super busy, raise your prices, get less busy, right? Master lead gen, so then you have less clients paying you more. But I'd ask you that, Movement 365, like, what is the main problem in the business? And like, what's your main bottleneck right now that's keeping you from scaling to where you want to go? And then where do you want to scale to, I guess, would be the next question. Like, where do you want to go?
Well, then if you're not charging enough, you also don't have enough margin to pay somebody to like edit the work for you.
Yeah, exactly. Like margins for a typical business is going to be like 25% is going to go to payroll, 20% is going to go to other marketing expenses. And then from there, you'd want to, obviously allocate that money and then look at, okay, am I at a 70 to 80% gross profit margin on these packages? So if you charge 10 grand, you should be making 8 grand on that after all expenses to fulfill on the project. And if you're not, then we need to look at like, why are we not there? Right.
Yep.
It's usually because it's a price issue. A lot of levers in business, guys. Like, and this is what I want you guys to understand too, and boil down to, like, it just comes down to like, what are the problems within the business and what levers can you pull to get there? Because there's always a problem. Like business always, you just keep graduating to more problems and problems and problems at the end of the day. And, you know, it really, really comes down to that. Teddy says, is this actually live or pre-recorded? This is actually live. This is just a fake virtual back. No, I'm in Switzerland right now. So this is the background. Just, it looks fake.
Thursday, May 1st.
Thursday, May. That's all you needed to hear, right? For me, it's 8:22 p.m. For you guys, it's 2:22 p.m. So I'm just doing this a little bit later. Hey, Grady says, have you noticed any trends in what type of video companies are in have you noticed any trends in what type of videos companies are in need of lately? I mean, it's going to be ads, right? It's going to, and this comes down to like, what is the problem? If it's lead gen, ads, right? Ads, social content, top of funnel content, get more brand awareness, get more people interested in talking with you, right? Yep. If it's hiring people, then it's more back-end hiring videos, about us videos. It's job description videos. It's meet the company videos. It's what it's like to work here videos. Let's see. We can get this set up.
No, it all comes down to the solving the problem for the business.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to switch over to my main camera here. Hold on. There we go. But that's what it comes down to, guys, is like just figuring out what is the main problem they're trying to solve, and then what does that look like, and how can we actually solve that problem at the end of the day? And you just have to understand what that looks like and how that works. So what other questions do we have, guys? Let's see. What other questions do we have? How can we help? Let me see if I can get this working here, man. This does not like me today. Ethan, how's everything in your neck of the woods?
Good. My MacBook likes me, so.
Well, it's the cord. It's this cord that I have. It's my USB-C going into my Canon R6. It's like, it just, I don't know what happened, but it just doesn't like it, right?
We got Brett in the chat.
Our boy Brett just hopped on the live video. What a view. One of the biggest breakthroughs, excuse me, Master Filmmaker has given me is identify my bottleneck, which is finding a great editor. I love it. Excuse me, I was going to not sneeze on everybody here. Apparently my allergies are still bad in Switzerland too. Oh, snap. I freaking love you guys. I've been following and utilizing your workflow for a year now. Keep up the great work. Love to hear that, Teddy. That's awesome, dude. That is sick. What is up, Brett? Let's see. What other questions do we have, guys? I see a couple of you on the live. What can we answer? Let me pull up a couple of questions that I've seen pop up this week. Let me see. There we go. On average, when someone starts running ads through your program, how long should they expect to see a return on investment, assuming they follow the system and put in the work? Yeah, that's a great question. It depends on every person. It depends on how many ads you launch. It depends on how many variations you launch. It depends on how quickly. We've had people ROI in the first 30 days, and then we've had people ROI in the first couple of months. So it really just depends. I mean, the biggest thing to understand with ads is that very rarely do you ever launch the first ad and it works perfectly. Like it's just not how it works. Like even with myself, when I'm testing ads, like you test multiple variations, you test multiple different hooks, you test different people, different on-screen talent, and we give you a framework to operate within to figure out how to test that stuff, right? But it really just, it comes down to the person and how aggressively you test. If I've seen people really aggressively test, and people like Max spend like $3K and generate like $200K from it. And then I've seen people who, you know, maybe spend a little bit less, aren't as aggressive, and then maybe they do a 10x ROI, right? Or like a 5x ROI. But I'd say the average for people who are like up and running, really rolling, have tested enough, have really gone through the process is typically like an 8 to 10x ROI. Because when you're offering this to these clients, like they are in need, they really want the service. It is a very low risk service for them, meaning you can charge a high amount. So it's not as hard on the sales process because it is a done for you service, if that makes sense. So hopefully that answers your question. But, you know, some clients 30 days, some clients longer. It really just depends.
Yep. And you don't even need to run ads to see return.
Yeah, I mean, dude, there's a lot of case studies that we have from people who have literally just used our reactivation strategy and closed 50 to 60 to even 80K in deals because we gave them the right framework. Well, number one, Ethan, the master over here, redid their offer, right, to be a retainer-based offer. So we increased the lifetime value up their prices. And then we basically have a strategy we use to have you go back to your, old clients and then turn those people into new calls, which we take them through a new sales process that we show you how to go through, and then we close them on the new packages, right? And then that's usually the money you can use to then put into ads with the program. So that's kind of our idea and our workflow.
Sometimes it's just as simple as charging a higher price, and you'd be surprised what you're close to.
Well, what did we do with Tori? Tori was charging, what was she charging before? And then I think she closed a 48K deal. She's about to close her second 48K deal, which is huge.
I think we doubled the price, and then like Drew, I talked to him yesterday. He joined on the 21st. So what, like 9 days into it, got a $9,000 deal coming out of weddings.
And that was from reactivation, right?
Yep.
That's huge. So, and what was his prices before, or what was the range?
Probably, I forget exactly because it was weddings. So I don't know if it's like 100% comparable, but it was 9,000 for 3 months. Nice. You know, first commercial client. So,
and that was within the first couple of days working with us. So it just depends on the person, right? Like, I don't want to give you like a perfect, it's never a perfect pill because we're dealing with different people, different businesses, different situations, different scenarios, right? But that's just the realistic kind of idea. So do you guys preach anything besides running ads to start, like cold calling in real life networking, or is that a waste of time? Yeah, so it really just depends, right? So like with people who don't have a lot of experience in the niche that they're trying to go after, we have a free to case study method where you can use that to get some case studies, get some people interested, have some conversations, build your confidence, and then go to paid ads. We have the reactivation strategy, and then we have like 3 to 4 other strategies that we'll use to get people interested, get some money in the door, build their confidence, and then turn those people into those people into deals, and then turn those deals into money that you can reinvest back into ads, right? Because ads is really just a reinvestment game. You get a client. Let's say you spend $500 to make $10,000 on ads, right? You take some of the money from the $10,000 client and you put it back into ads to get another $10,000 client. And that's where we have client financed acquisition, to where like you make some money from a client, you put it back in, you make some money from a client, you put it back in, and you keep doing that over and over and over again, because now you have a machine that pumps out, let's say you get 10 leads, you get 3 calls out of that, you close 1 call at 10K. Now it's like, how many times can I get 10 leads? You know what I mean?
Yep.
So hopefully that makes sense, but we have a lot of strategies besides that as well. Is a podcast service a great service we can offer to enterprise? Podcast, yeah, it depends. It depends on what you mean by enterprise. We have a lot of clients doing podcast service to small to medium-sized businesses. We define small to medium-sized businesses as anybody doing under 100 million a year, typically. And so that's typically what we're doing. So yeah, podcast service is great. You just have to frame what is the benefit of the podcast service, right? Why do people want the podcast service? Well, it's because they want to, get more clients, get their name out there on social media, build brand awareness, whatever it may be, right? So that's really what they're looking to do. Let's see, guys. My laptop is about to die here. What other questions do we have? And then we are going to wrap up. I gotta go get some food and then go to bed. It's late here. What are your thoughts on the current economic climate? Do you see a downward trend where businesses are cutting back? That's a good question. We honestly have not with our clients, because when you frame it as like something that's going to make them more money, if they're in an economic, like if they're getting less customers, they need to keep reinvesting into getting more customers, even more now than ever, right? So it really, there's going to be always businesses that contract, and then there's going to be businesses that are like, hey, we're going to take all the contracting businesses business and go all in and spend all this money with people to get more clients, right? So that's typically when you're going after higher value clients. We don't see that. Can you speak about the different support packages you offer? For sure. So we have a couple different offers. Really everything is dependent on what you need as a video business owner. So we want to talk to you first before we offer you anything. So if you want to learn a little bit more, there should be like a link below this video where you can schedule a demo with our team and learn a little bit more. But we really take more of a prescriptive approach, because like we don't want to enroll people that aren't a good fit for the program. So we want to make sure that you guys are actually a good fit when you come in. So I would highly recommend just scheduling a demo, and then the coaches that you'll speak with are the people that we've trained for the past couple of years that work with us in the trenches every single day. They're going to take a look at the business and really help you understand what you need, and if you need us at all in the first place. So it just depends. Let's see. What other questions? Ethan, anything else before tired of talking so much, man. Taking up all the time.
No, I think it's good call. Hit a lot of topics.
For sure. Thanks for all your info and feedback. Vileva imagery. For sure, dude. You got it. Absolutely. Let's see any other questions. Teddy says, I have a huge problem finding clients that have enough budget for what I offer. I have a Komodo Red, use LiDAR, I have my own lighting, I do my own editing. I just can't seem to find. This is a perfect example of like, yes, you have all the gear, but what problem do you solve with the content that you're creating? What's the problem? Because to the client, they're like, cool, you have all this gear. That's nice. But like, how is that going to help me make more money in my business?
Yep. Exactly. Your clients don't care and don't know about the gear that you have. Like it doesn't matter to them. They
want to know. They want to know. And this is the thing. Like we run a 7-figure company ourselves. So like this is the thing you want to think about. Like, how is it going to get me more clients or make them worth more? That is the only thing these businesses are thinking about when you pitch them their offer. When you pitch them your offer, is how is this going to get me more clients, or how am I going to make more money from the current clients I already have? Only two things. If your answer to that question is, well, it's going to look really nice, it's going to be on social media, it's going to make you look more high quality, they're going to be like, but why do I care about that? And you have to do a good job of explaining why they should care about that. Otherwise, they're always going to keep you at a lower price point. Always. Never going to change until you can provide more value. Help them visibly see in your sales call how they're going to make more money. Right?
Yep. It has to be a make money outcome.
Yep. That's why they're paying you. And that's why people can charge the big bucks, right? So what pricing model helped you scale your agency and attract better clients? So retainer-based pricing, because you build longer-term relationships with people. Dude, I'm tired. Apparently I can't talk over here. And then number 2, it attracts better clients when you have just higher prices in general, right? It's just higher prices in general. So if I pitch something for $50K, right? There's going to be a certain percentage of people who literally cannot afford it. And I'm just going to weed them out simply because it costs $50K. And then there's going to be a percentage of people that are like, oh man, it must be really valuable because it's $50K. And I'll end with like an analogy on, like, if you're looking at two different products on Amazon, they're the exact same product, right? But one of them costs 10 times more. Say it's a lamp. One lamp costs $10. Another lamp costs $1,000. Like, what are you going to think, Ethan, when you look at those two lamps?
I think the more expensive one is better.
Why? If they look exactly the same, why?
Just because they charge more, So, or I guess vice versa. Why is the other one so cheap? Right? Is it as good because it's like $5 versus $500? Like,
there's always a bucket of people that want cheap. They are not the people you guys want as clients. Please raise your prices, like increase the prices, because like you do not want those people as clients, because all they want is the cheapest thing. They want it done right now. They're low ticket clients and they just will drain the crap out of you. You want to target people who are willing to spend the money and be okay, guys. And I think it stems from this, and we'll end here. It stems from people are not okay with people saying no to them. You have to be okay with it. Not everyone is your client. It's okay. We have people that say no to us every day, and that's okay. You're just not for everybody, and you have to price yourself that way, and you have to carry yourself that way. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
because you're not going to close every call you take.
You're not, and you shouldn't be. You should be closing like 20 to 30% max. And if you're not, like, if you're closing everybody, you're going to have a fulfillment problem. Like, you're not going to be able to do good work for these people. You're not going to be able to charge what you actually can. Yep. Brett says amen. Grady says, I'm going to end here. He says, I see your hat so much that I had a dream about you once. Nothing weird. Don't worry. I'm relieved. That's great. Just letting you know that they're haunting me in your sleep. Keep up the good work. Well, Grady, you might need to book a call, man. It's only going to get worse. But if you book a call, it's only going to get worse. But no, I appreciate it, man.
Send ads to your dreams now.
I guess, dude, Meta should have a placement option for people's dreams, and I could just like sub ads in there. And at the end of the day, guys, like we know we can help people. Like we've helped 600 video business owners up to this point. And like that's the other thing I think for you guys too is like if you're going to price something high, you have to be okay with selling it. Like don't be afraid of sales because you're physically helping the person get into your service that's going to genuinely help them. And if you don't genuinely believe that you can help them, then don't sell them. That's where I think people get caught up. Like there's nothing wrong with charging a lot of money and working someone through a sales process in a way that isn't sleazy. There isn't. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yep.
Like, if you truly believe you can help them, like it is your duty to sell it to them because like your service will change their business and you have to believe that. Yeah.
100%.
Cool, guys. I'm going to end it there. If you guys want to learn more about what we do at Master Filmmaker, book a call. Should be able to click the link below. If you want to keep enjoying these, we enjoy having you guys. We enjoy answering questions for you, and we enjoy talking with you guys. So if you need anything from us, let us know. Otherwise, we will see you next week.
Well, that's all I need.